No matter where you are or how experienced a photographer you are, it's always worth going back to the basics of photography. The 3 C's: composition, composition, composition. It's not just living things that are of interest in the forest. Dead things are fascinating too. There's this dead log just lying on the banks of the lake here. And I'm going to get down on the ground and try and take a picture of it, and using some of those rules of composition and following the foreground, the background, the leading lines, try and turn this into an interesting foreground with the forest and the lake there in the mid and background. Always handy to have a towel about you for jobs like this. Now, what I'm going to try and do is make sure that all of the key elements of the shot are in frame. I don't want to crop the top of the trees. I don't want to lose too much of the log. This is the full frame with all of the elements in there. I'm just going to punch in ever so slightly just to help me compose. That's more like it. So what I need to make sure I'm doing is including all of the elements in there, not cropping the top of the trees or the bottom of the log. And also, because I'm laid down at an angle, I've got the grid line switched on here to help make sure that I'm taking the image straight as well. And there we go, we've got the angle of the log pointing to the beach on the other side, almost crossing the water for us. And when the sun comes out and just brushes the top of the water and creates that nice shadow and brings out some of the highlights and details on the log, that's when this image really sings. In photography, leading lines are all about helping to steer the viewer to a particular area of the picture, to guide them around the image that you've taken. I found this rather large felled tree just here, just in front of the lake here. I'm going to try and have a play around to see if I can use the foreground and the direction of this felled tree to lead us into the lake behind. So what I'm going to do is get really close up to this log here, and what immediately strikes me is that because I'm so close, there's a kind of shallow depth of field effect. I tap on the screen and that's in sharp focus, the wood there, but the rest of the log and the water behind it around, and I'm not even using the portrait mode in this phone's camera. So that, even though I'm focused on that third, which is the most pleasing place for the eye, there's still this black crack in the wood that's leading my eye from left to right and then off to the water over there. That's really pleasing. So let me capture a couple of those. Now, of course, you can experiment with focus in different places. If I tap on the right, then the water comes into focus. Try the middle as well. Yeah, I still think the left here is the most pleasing. It's unconventional, but I still really like it.